Welcome to the Notes on Factoring Binomials. Today we're going to look at the sum and difference of perfect cubes. So let's start first. What is a perfect cube? So if I have x to the third, all right, what is that cube root? All right, well, the cube root looks like the square root, but it's got the little 3 here. It's what number times itself equals that. So the cube root of x to the third is x. All right, why? Because x times x times x, 3 times the same thing times itself equals x cubed. All right, it works the same way with different numbers. If you have a number like 8, all right, well, that really equals 2 to the third. The cube root of 8 is 2, all right, because 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8. So it's very simple, similar to a square root, but now it's what number times itself 3 times goes into that number. So that's what a perfect cube is. Now let's figure out how to solve. The biggest phrase, all right, you guys, I'm going to say this over and over, is the phrase SOAP, all right, because this is very pattern-based, and SOAP refers to how we set up the signs. All right, so here's what SOAP stands for. All right, it stands for same sign. All right, then O stands for opposite sign. And then these two kind of go together. It means always positive. So that last sign is always positive. You'll see what I mean in a second here. All right, let's get right to an example. So here we go. X to the third plus 8. Okay, well, if I was going to, this really equals x to the third plus 2 to the third, right? Because 8 is really 2 to the third. The cube root of 8 is 2. So when I do this problem, the first thing I'm going to do, all right, as our answers are going to be 2 sets of parentheses. So here's one set, and then here's another set. Okay, so the first thing we do is we take the first value, all right, whatever its cube root is, all right, what times itself is x cubed? That's just x. X times x times x equals x cubed. And then the first sign, we keep it at the same. So this was a positive, so we put a positive right here. And again, I'll circle that in red to refer to the sign. So we put a same sign there. Then the second value comes from the cube root of 8. All right, what times itself 3 times 8? We already said that's 2. So the cube roots go there. All right, and we keep the same sign. Then in this first spot, all right, right here, there's going to be 3 values in the second set of parentheses. All right, the first one comes from the first term. All right, right here, this first x. All right, we square it, so that's x squared. Okay, now the next side is the opposite of the original problem. So same sign, now we use the opposite sign. All right, now the next value comes from multiplying these two together. So the second answer comes from taking x times 2. X times 2 is 2x. Okay, and then the last term, all right, our sign is always positive. There will always be a plus there. That's what the AP stands for. We take the second term, the 2, and we square that. 2 squared is 4. So there is, and that right there, that's the pattern right there. So all your answers will look similar to that. 2 sets of parentheses, 2 terms in the first, 3 terms in the second. Let's take a look at another example. All right, y to the third minus 27. So again, answer going to be 2 sets of parentheses. Here we go. I'm going to scroll over just a little bit. All right. Now, y to the third, that really equals this negative 27. It's really y to the third minus 3 to the third. The cube root of 27 is 3. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. You guys can use your calculator to help you there. So now inside, here we go. The first pattern is just the cube root of, it's this base, all right? And it's this base that goes into here. So it's y and 3. What sign do I use? Well, it's the same sign. Remember the SOAP, same sign. All right, now our 3 terms. The first one comes from taking y times y, and I'll kind of write that underneath here. We're squaring the y, so there's y squared. All right, same opposite sign, so this becomes plus. Middle term comes from multiplying together. 3 times y, which is 3y. And then the last term is always positive. That comes from squaring our second term inside the parentheses. 3 times 3, which is 9. So there is our answer right here. All right, y minus 3. So remember SOAP, SOAP, SOAP. Okay, last problem. We're struggling with these, all right? First thing we always have to do is take out the greatest common factor. So 54 is not a perfect cube, either is 16. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this by taking out the GCF. The greatest common factor is 2. So now I'm not just done. I have to rewrite. If I take a 2 away from 54, what's the other factor of 54 that goes into it? It's 27. We still have our a cubed minus. If I take away 2 from 16, 2 times 2, what's the other factor of 2 that goes into 16? It's 8. And we've got our b to the third. Now this right here, those are cube roots. So I can factor those. So our answer now, all right, we're going to have the 2 on the outside. Our 2 sets of parentheses. What is the cube root of 27? Well, that is 3. We keep the same sign because our original problem is a minus, so it's minus. Now, what is the cube root of 8? Well, cube root of 8 is 2. Oh, sorry, I forgot 3, and then I forgot my a, by the way, because it's a cubed, so 3a. And then for my 8, we know that that's 2, and then b is the cube root of b to the third. So 2b times 2b times 2b is minus 8b to the third. 3a times 3a times 3a is 27a to the third. Now we just got to fill in our 3 values right here. We know our signs, same, opposite, always positive. First term comes from squaring the 3a. So we take 3a and we square it. All right, well, that's going to be 9a squared. The middle term comes from multiplying them together. 3a times negative 2b. Or it doesn't, the sign doesn't matter, just 3a times 2b. Our sign is already determined. So that's going to be 6ab. And then this one comes from the 2b squared, which is going to be 4b squared. And there is our final answer. So don't forget to take out that GCF and then just follow the pattern of so. And that's how you factor the sum or difference of perfect cubes.